Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Mindy and I'm about 100 pounds into a 200-pound weight loss journey. This has been a good 3.5, almost 4-year long process for me, and for the majority of that I was on GLP medications, both Wegovy and Manjaro. And earlier this year my life kind of went off the rails a little bit. We had a lot going on in my family, in my life, and about 4 weeks ago, we hit the reset button after looking after my mental health. I got diagnosed with ADHD, stopped taking Wegovy, started taking Vyvanse to look after my ADHD and my mental health, and we're in a much better place than we were a few months ago. And I just got off of work. I'm eating a little pineapple pre-workout snack before I head into Planet Fitness for my second workout. I just went for the first time last week. I started up my membership, and today we're doing workout number 2, which is perfect timing because my quads finally stopped hurting from my workout that I did last Wednesday. Is that okay? Oh yeah, it's just one of those little pit things. I'm gonna get some carbs in me and go in and do my Train Well workout. Chris is so proud of me for doing the things. Chris is my Train Well trainer, by the way. I am so proud of me for doing things. And yeah, we're just gonna keep on doing the dang thing. We're doing a 4-week check-in this week. Probably make a recipe later together. Later this week, we'll see what my body's done over the last 4 weeks. Take a look at some pictures, some measurements, take an in-depth dive into my body composition and all the things that that's been doing with my body pod. Thank you so much to Hume for sponsoring this video. We'll get into that a little bit later. Let's go get a workout in. We'll see how brave I feel with filming inside the gym. What am I doing? Who the heck knows? Oh, stretches. That's a thing I can do. Oh no. 10 seconds left. Ow. Hello, hamstrings. Tighten your core, Mindy. Do the core thing. Oh God, why? Oh, I hate these so much. 10 seconds left. Jesus. Almost 10. There you go. Let's go home. Man, I'm hot. Oh, gross. Hi, friends. That workout was, it sure was. It was. Yeah. Came home and collapsed. Richard and I, because Richard's still home today. He had a very long week last week. He didn't get home until Saturday. So he's still home right now. He'll be going back to work tomorrow. So he and I went to Dose and I had some red meat because I needed some red meat. And now I'm back at home and I'm gonna do some meal prep for the week. If you are new to my channel, welcome, first of all. And also there is a fan favorite around here called Strawberry Protein Fluff. And it's taken on many iterations through the evolution of my channel. And we're gonna try something a little bit different this week after trying out the fluffy Jello last week. There were some things that I would like to adapt into my protein fluff. First of all, I really loved the flavor of the yogurt with the Jello. So we're gonna sub out some of the blended cottage cheese for yogurt. And we're gonna try blooming the gelatin first, because I don't normally do that. I just usually throw it into the cottage cheese. So we're gonna start with a small container, 0.3 ounce container of Jello of your choice. I'm using strawberry because I love strawberry, but you can do whatever you want. You can do orange, you can do lime, you can do, I mean, look, I just said whatever you want. There are lots of options. Feel free to choose yours. I like strawberry. We're going to throw that in here. And then I'm only going with a half a cup of boiling water. I just want to be able to dissolve the Jello completely. And I'm gonna whisk that up until the Jello is completely dissolved, which does not take long at all. And I think we're already there. That's the start of our fluff. This I'm gonna leave to sit and cool down for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Oh, so sweet. And then we're gonna put together the rest of the fluff. I'm gonna do some other preppy things. I don't have a lot more time before my date night with Nikki. If you missed Wednesday's video, she and I are going to taste and rank all of the flavors of Drizzlicious. So if you missed that video, check it out here. I mean, watch this one first, but then go check that one out. If you love Mindy and Nikki content, that one should be for you. Or if you like low calorie, delicious sweet treats, that's also a thing that's for you. Okay, I'm gonna go do other things and then I'll be back. Okay, I got my pork tenderloin in the oven. It's doing the things. Let's make the rest of this fluff. My Jello has had enough time to cool down. Normally I use a 24-ounce container of cottage cheese. That would be this whole thing. So this time we're gonna do 8 ounces of low-fat cottage cheese. And I'm going to blend mine. You can leave the curds in if you want to. I did not take that off very well. Now my hands are squishy. Low fat, full fat, no fat, whatever you want. Oh, I am making a mess. 8.04 is just fine for me. I'm gonna put the rest of this back in my fridge for some other delicious thing. 16 ounces of Greek yogurt of choice. I'm doing vanilla because I want it to be sweet and delicious. This is my preferred Greek yogurt of choice. And this needs to be 24 ounces total. 24. And now I'm going to blend until the cottage cheese is smooth. You could, of course, do this in a blender or food processor. I was going to do it in my food processor, but I didn't want to clean it. And I've got it like halfway there, so I'm gonna pour in my Jello. I'm hoping with the liquid in here that this is gonna blend a little better. Okay, I'm gonna call it. That is as smooth as I think I'm gonna get it with my immersion blender. It's a little more liquidy right now than it usually is, but I mean, yogurt is a little thinner and I had the added half cup of water, but because we bloomed the gelatin, I think it's gonna set up more firmly. So we will see. This is a food science experiment. I can tell you on first taste, I like the flavor of this better than my regular protein fluff, which I already liked a lot. Oh, that's good. What does that remind me of? Reminds me of strawberry milkshake. Strawberry yogurt, that's what it reminds me of. Which, duh, Mindy. Yeah, that's real good. I really want to put my tongue in there and lick that, but I have a feeling that it would do real bad things to my tongue, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put a lid on that, stick it in the freezer, let it hang out until later tonight, and then we will taste that together, and we're gonna see how we like it. Maybe this is the new hotness. I'll see you guys later tonight.
I'm listening to Charlotte Dobre. She's a petty potato and she's fantastic.
A petty potato.
Y'all should go look her up if you like hearing about petty, like, revenge stories.
I don't want to eat a petty potato. It sounds gristly. Hey, dessert time. Let's see how this set up. If it was any different than how it normally is. It's definitely got more jiggle. I don't know if you can see. I'm the only one that eats this, so I just take a quarter of it and put it into a bowl. Do a crisscross down the middle and then scoop it out. Oh. So yeah, definitely more like set when you bloom the gelatin, which is not a surprise. We'll see if I like it more or less, but the texture is definitely more fluffy than the fluffy Jello from last week. And then we're going to add an ounce of Cool Whip of your choice. I do the reduced fat kind. You can do the 0 sugar kind if you're watching your carbs. Just gonna mound. And then we're gonna do 4 ounces of strawberries that I'm going to dice up. You can slice them, dice them. I just want little chunks of strawberry. Do that.
Oh, look how pretty it is.
And the last ingredient must have is pistachios. These are just roasted and salted, and they are a necessity. Very, very important. Muy importante. You need the salt. I only use 1 ounce for the whole week, so it's just 7 grams per serving. I'm gonna take those, and then we're just gonna chop these up. Nothing fancy, just get them into little pieces so that you can have little salty bites throughout. Sprinkle it right on top. So pretty and delicious. Can't wait to put it in my face. It's a lot fluffier than the fluffy Jello from last week. Now that's fluffy Jello. Yum. Okay, now I'm gonna destroy this. I'm gonna mix everything together. Oh no, pistachio overboard. Hot take, but the Cool Whip is way better than that fat-free Ready Whip stuff. That stuff deflates so fast, it just turns into milk again. So I was not a fan of that. I'm sure it's probably more natural or whatever, but I'll take my Cool Whip. Thank you very much. So now that it's all mixed up, this is the winner, guys. If you've ever tried my other protein fluff recipe, didn't like it because it was too cottage cheesy or whatever, give this one a shot. If you like strawberry yogurt, you will love this. It is so good. The macros. For 1 serving of this with the strawberries, the Cool Whip, and the pistachios, it is 263 calories, 21 grams of protein, 29 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of fat. Make this. You will not regret it. It is delicious. If you absolutely cannot stand cottage cheese, just use all yogurt. You will love it. It is fantastic. I'm done tooting my own horn. That's it for me tonight, and I will check in with you guys later on this week. Look at the clouds. Good morning. It's Wednesday. I just got off my call with my dietitian. I love her so much. We talked about all the things today. Been talking to her about my muscle soreness. There was a supplement that one of my subscribers recommended for like muscle recovery and soreness. I'll put the name of it down here because it's really long. She was talking to me about some of the research behind it, and it's mostly used for like mental fatigue, but I did start taking it on Saturday and it feels like it's helping. So I don't know if that's a placebo effect or what, but she did kind of look a little bit further into the research for me and said that it could be working on a certain type of creatine that's in our muscles that gets like an excess of that can cause the inflammation. So like it might be reducing that. She said there's several different ways it could be working to help with that, but it's not specifically meant for that. I mean, if you want to give it a try, I will put a link down in the description. Not nearly as sore today as I expected to be because last week I was sore Wednesday through Sunday. Monday worked my hamstrings pretty hard, and it's now Wednesday. And I mean, I do have a little bit of soreness, but nothing like last week. It's been about 4 weeks since I've been consistent with my diet changes, getting my steps in, and last week I started working out. During that time, I've consistently checked in with my Hume Body Pod. I started using the Body Pod months ago, but when my mental health kind of took a nosedive, I stopped weighing myself, I stopped keeping track of things, and so 4 weeks ago, I started consistently using the Body Pod again. And this week, we are gonna do a deep dive into that full month of progress. But before we do that, I did wanna thank Hume for sponsoring this portion of the video. If you're watching this channel, then chances are you've at some point in your life tried to lose weight, are currently trying to lose weight right now. You know how tempting it is to obsess over the scale, to obsess over your weight and that one specific number. The awesome thing about the Body Pod is that rather than obsessing over that one number, I'm actually learning what's behind that number. That's made all the difference between getting stuck in a cycle of frustration and actually staying consistent over the last 4 weeks. I did want to kind of get into a little bit more of the things that the Body Pod tracks. Number one being your body fat percentage. Now, if you're somebody that's obese or morbidly obese, the percentage of body fat is gonna look a little weird because you're not necessarily gonna lose body fat in the same rate that you're gonna lose other things like water weight, you will lose muscle mass, other things like that. So like rather than body fat, I like looking at fat mass, which is the number of pounds of fat that I have on my body, and watching that number rather than the body fat percentage has been key for me, because even as I'm losing weight and I'm losing body fat mass, my body fat percentage has gone up because there's still a larger percentage of my overall weight that consists of body fat than my overall weight is being reduced by the body fat mass. I hope that makes sense, but I'll show you guys numbers so that you can understand what I'm talking about when we get to my breakdown. What most of us are aiming for is reducing our body fat, not just weighing less, because I can weigh less and have less muscle mass, less bone mass, less water weight, but ultimately what we really want is to lose our body fat. The other thing that I like looking at, especially now that I'm starting to get back into strength training, is muscle mass. And again, this can be viewed in a percentage or it can be viewed in lean mass. So I can look at the number of pounds of lean mass that I have on my body and track that number over time. The awesome thing about that is that if as I'm putting on muscle mass and reducing my body fat, the number may never change. But if I'm looking at that composition and seeing that muscle mass go up and the body fat go down, then I know that things are going in the right direction, and it makes me feel a lot better about the scale not moving. Visceral fat is something that the Body Pod also keeps track of, and that is the fat that's sitting around your organs. And it's really important because it's not just about looking better, it's about your overall health. The Body Pod also keeps track of water and hydration levels, making sure that you're not retaining a bunch of water or losing a lot of water. Also helps you to figure out if you're not drinking enough water, which a lot of us are guilty of. I've been doing a lot better since I got my big old stankin' water bottle, but it's still a problem from time to time. One of the other things that I really love about the app itself is the ability to set milestone goals. I am on a 200-pound weight loss journey. I'm about halfway through. 100 pounds is still a giant number to look at. It can be really, really overwhelming. So instead, right now, my milestone is 250 pounds, and it will actually break it down into smaller chunks for me based on how I've set my calorie goal, and it makes that feel more attainable rather than just sitting there staring at that giant number. In other words, it kind of helps keep me focused on the next step instead of the finish line, and it kind of makes the whole journey feel more doable. I've had a lot of people, especially recently, telling me how much they don't like weighing on a daily basis. Now, I'm one of those people, I like the data. One of the cool things about the app is that rather than taking a look at that data on a daily basis, I can change it to look at it from a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and it'll take an average of that data over that period of time. Averages are always more accurate the more data that they have. And the other cool thing is the app will tell you what your optimal time of day is to weigh based on when you've been weighing the other times to keep that data even more accurate. We've talked in the past about how bioimpedance scales, like it's good for relative progress, but they're not super accurate. The awesome thing about the Body Pod is that it is 98% as effective as a DEXA scan. So I know that all of that data that I'm getting is not just relative data, it's accurate data. So with me being able to count on the accuracy of the data that I'm seeing, it's helped me stay patient because I know that I can see all of the changes, not just that number on the scale, and I can count on them being accurate. If you're on a health journey, seeing progress in small, detailed ways can make all the difference. It's not about chasing perfection, it's about that consistency day in and day out, building that consistency and being able to celebrate those small small little victories along the way. For me, the Body Pod helps with staying connected to my goals and staying connected to that data without falling into that all or nothing mindset, because I know where those numbers are coming from and what they're made up of. So if you've been curious about the Body Pod, I will leave my link and discount code down in the description below. As always, my discount code will stack on top of whatever sale they have going on right now, and it is good for the next 7 days. Don't forget that the Body Pod is also eligible to use FSA or HSA funds, so you can use your pre-tax dollars to help pay and offset the cost of the scale as well, because it is an investment, but it has been worth it for me. Thanks again to Hume for sponsoring this portion of the video, and thanks to you guys for supporting me when I have sponsored content. I really appreciate it so very, very much. I have a crazy busy day today. I have a ton of editing to get done, and I also still need to go work out today, so I gotta get a trip to the gym in. I still need to eat lunch and all of the things. So it is going to be a very busy day today, but I am super looking forward to touching base with you guys on Friday morning so that we can take that deep dive into my 4-week results, take a look at some pictures, measurements, and of course, all of the data from my Body Pod from the last 4 weeks. I'll see you then. Good morning and happy Friday. We have another glorious morning. Makes me sick. Just kidding. We're gonna do a weigh-in, and the results are mixed. So when I started this whole thing on the 23rd of June, my weight was 275.4 pounds, and my lowest weight this week was 265.4, which is a total of 10 pounds lost. You guys may remember I did a check-in I think 2 weeks ago on July 3rd, and I was at 265.2. It could be really discouraging if all I was doing was looking at those two numbers, knowing that 2 weeks ago, my weight was 0.2 pounds less than that. The whole Body Pod thing, what I was talking about, like having that overall data, being able to look at those weekly averages instead shows me a more complete picture of what my weight loss has looked like over the last 4 weeks. So for example, week 1, my average over the whole week was 271.6 pounds. For week 2, my average was 268.1. So that first week, like week over week, if you compare average to average, I lost 3.5 pounds. On week 3, my average weight was 267.2, which is another loss of 0.9 pounds. Now that was my cycle week. So the fact that I lost any weight at all is honestly impressive to me. Then if we look at this week, week 4, my average so far, and obviously it's Friday, so I'm still missing a couple days from this week's average, but my average so far this week, 266.1 pounds, which is another loss over last week's average of 1.1 pounds. So even though my weight has gone up, down, all around, and if you look at that daily number, it's like this, the weekly average numbers are in a downward trajectory, which is far more encouraging to me than looking at a single day number, because we all know, especially women, we know how much our weight can fluctuate from day to day for seemingly no reason whatsoever. Now, the numbers that got really interesting to me when I started diving into them that I still can't make any sense of, and I'm gonna have to talk to my dietitian about it next week, is my body fat percentage. I'm going to look at those weekly averages for the rest of these numbers because, again, the rest of the numbers went up and down all over the place too. So my body fat percentage in week 1, the average was 47%. Here I am in week 4, and the average is at 48.9%, which is an increase of 1.9%. Okay, body fat percentage. That number is not always going to make sense with me being obese, because I'm not going to lose body fat in the same proportion as the rest of the weight that I'm going to lose. So normally what I like to look at is fat mass, or the number of pounds of fat that I have in my body. Week 1, I was at 127.5 pounds of fat mass. Week 4, according to my Body Pod, I'm sitting at 130.2 pounds of body fat, which would mean that I've gained 2.7 pounds of fat mass. And I am perplexed, to say the least. I'm gonna have to talk to my dietitian, see if she can't help explain to me a little bit more about why that number would go up, because I am confused. I am confusion. My lean mass percentage for week 1 was at 48.7%. For week 4, my average was at 47.7%, which means I lost 1% of lean mass. My lean mass weight for week 1 was 132.3 pounds. For week 4, it was sitting at 127.1 pounds, which means I've lost 5.2 pounds of lean mass. I'm going to lose some muscle as I am losing weight. My body at 175 pounds wouldn't be able to sustain the amount of muscle mass that I have on my body at my current weight that's necessary in order to move around the amount of weight that I have. So I know I will lose some muscle mass, but that seems like quite a lot. I will say that like looking at those numbers like week over week, that loss has slowed significantly since I started strength training again a week and a half ago. So I'm hoping to see those numbers continue to slow and maybe even start going in the opposite direction where I'll start gaining more muscle mass instead of losing it. Body water. Obviously, I was at the beginning of this, I was extremely bloated. I was carrying a lot of water weight. In week 1, my average was at 38.7%. And for week 4, my average is at 37.3%. So I lost 1.4% body water, which I'm glad to see, and I'm glad to not have it anymore. I definitely have noticed like the swelling in my ankles and my feet has gone back down again. I'm not feeling as bloated and gross as I was when I started all of this. Where you really start to see the difference in all of this, like over the last 4 weeks, like I did lose 10 pounds, which is not insignificant in a month, but I also lost a pretty significant amount of inches. When I look at the pictures, like side by side from the 23rd and then to this morning, I don't really see a huge difference, but in looking at those measurements, in my chest, I went from 46.57 inches to 45.07 inches, so I lost 1.5 inches. In my hips, I went from 54.92 to 53.81, which was a 1.11 inch loss. And my waist, I went from 45.08 to 43.5, which was a 1.55 inch loss. I also lost about 1/2 inch off of each thigh, and I did lose some inches in my upper arms as well, and my forearms. So I think the thing that I noticed the biggest difference in is when I look at the side view of my arms. I didn't take this shot when I very first started, but I did take it on the 23rd, and now like I can definitely see a difference in the size of kind of that hanging fat on my upper arms. That's probably my biggest, like my most self-conscious area on my body. So it's nice to see that that's starting to go down a little bit. I would say probably the most significant changes over the last 4 weeks have been non-scale victories. Number one, and you guys have commented on it, my boss has commented on it, my coworkers have commented on it, and that is the change in my mental health. I feel so much better mentally. Obviously, I feel better physically. I've done a complete 180 energy-wise. I do have a lot more energy. I know a lot of people are going to say it's because of the Vyvanse. I will tell you, I don't take the Vyvanse every day, you guys. And on the days when I don't take the Vyvanse, I feel just as good as the days that I do. My sleep quality is better. I'm sleeping better. I'm not having to go to bed as early to get the same amount of sleep as I was before. My clothes are starting to fit better. I had gotten to the point 4 weeks ago where there was a lot of the new clothes that I had bought that I could not fit into anymore. Either that or else they were just really uncomfortable to wear, especially some of my pants. In regard to my fitness progress, I am definitely feeling more motivated to move more. I'll be touching on that a little bit more in next week's video. And I've just been feeling more motivated to be more active in general. Like instead of just sitting on the couch all night, every night, like I'm actually motivated to get up and do things around the house, to take an extra walk or do things that are more active rather than just sitting around, even on the weekends when Richard's home. Normally before, like I would have just sat around with him, played video games, and not really done anything. Every weekend, I've had some sort of goal for some kind of project to get done around the house, and I've been pretty consistent with taking care of that, and obviously that helps my mental health as well. I'm feeling amazing in the gym. I mean, I've only done 3 workouts so far, but every workout I've been pushing the limits and increasing my weight just to see like where my limits actually are. My trainer Chris sent me a message yesterday and was like, Mindy, you're a badass. Like, I don't understand how you're pushing the weights that you're pushing already. I have a lot of muscle mass on my body, so I'm a lot stronger than I should be for somebody that doesn't work out or hasn't worked out in a very long time. So I'm not surprised that I'm lifting more than I should be able to, but I still don't feel like I've hit the limits of what I can do, and it's exciting to me to figure out what those are. I talked to you guys a little bit about in the Body Pod app being able to set those like milestone goals. And my first milestone goal that I set for myself is 250 pounds. Given that I started this portion of my journey at a little over 275 pounds, 250 felt like a good marker for my next like push goal. I've already hit 3 out of the 10 micro goals. Like they take that when you set the goal in the app, they break it up into 10 pieces, and I'm projected to hit my next goal by like next week, which I'm excited about, and I'm enjoying watching those numbers kind of do what they do. The biggest win of the month has just been, you know, regardless of the weight loss, regardless of all of that, the biggest win has been the change in my mental health, like just feeling good overall, because y'all, I haven't felt like myself in a long time, and I finally feel like me again, and it feels really good to know that that's possible without the Wegovy. Yeah, I'm just proud of myself. I think the biggest challenge of the month has been watching the scale move so slowly after that initial, you know, weight loss, but looking at those weekly averages has definitely made it a lot easier, like seeing that significant downward trend over time rather than just looking at that daily number has helped significantly. And in terms of what I'm going to be focusing on over the next 4 weeks, I'm just looking at staying consistent and doing what I know works. Counting the calories, doing the meal plans, going to the gym, and regardless of what the scale says, just doing what I know I need to do. I hope that you guys found this helpful and motivating and encouraging. If you did, please give this video a like, say hi to me down in the comments. All of that helps the algorithm so much. If you're not already subscribed, consider sticking around. I have some exciting new content planned, and just in general, just really excited about what the future has in store. Thank you so much to my Buy Me a Coffee members for continuing to be supportive and continuing to stand by me regardless of the craziness in my life. I'll be getting your weekly meal plan out either tonight or tomorrow morning. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now.